What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR and welcome back to another movie review, and today we are going to be reviewing the First Purge. I still hate the name of that movie. I don't like it. It's confusing when you're trying to explain the movie. Basically, it's like how I do it. I normally go like, it's like, oh yeah, the First Purge. And like, oh yeah, the first movie. I'm like, no, not the first movie. The fourth movie that's called the First Purge. And they're like, huh? Which they really botched it with that name. You're probably wondering, like, why are you reviewing this now? This is pretty random to just review this out of the blue. It's because I'm trying to copy my 2021 reviews. And, I know this didn't come out in 2020, but I realized when I went to go review the Forever Purge, I hadn't reviewed this one yet. I've reviewed the other ones. I've reviewed the Purge, the Purge Anarchy, and the Purge Election Year. I've reviewed all those. I haven't reviewed this, which really shocked me. I'm like, I thought I reviewed this. And maybe the reason why I didn't notice it so long because the first time I watched this movie, I didn't like it. I kind of have a soft spot for the Purge franchise. I don't think they're the best made movies, but they're fun for what they are, and I would consider myself a pretty big fan. I don't consider them to be masterpieces, works of art or anything, but they're definitely one of my favorite modern horror franchises. And this one being very trying to tell us like how the Purge started and everything was an interesting concept to me. But when I saw the movie the first time, I did not like it. I was like, this was the dumbest movie in the franchise, and that's saying something. And I legit just had no fun with this movie. But seeing it a second time, my thoughts changed instantly. I watched this with a friend the other day, and I was straight up sitting there watching the movie, and I'm like, I remember this being much worse. And I guess that's the thing that I need to start doing. I need to start giving movies more than one chance. Because, my opinions do change on movies. Believe it or not, critics' opinions can change on a movie. But what do I like and what do I not like about this movie? First off, it takes a good minute to get to some of the actual Purge stuff, but it makes sense narratively, and when it gets there, you get some good stuff. It's not as crazy and elaborate as some of the other Purge movies. It's kind of a simpler, smaller, they're showing off, kind of like what they did with the first movie, but instead of being shot in a house, it's in one city, which is a really interesting way to do it. It's an experiment that they do, and people mostly is that they need the money. They're offering them money to do it, so that's the reason why they're taking the thing. And my goodness, it's odd at points what this movie tries to do. Not odd. I mean interesting. It's interesting the way they try to take the movie, because this is the first. This is you really get a lot more of this world in this movie. In the last one, you kind of get some of the political aspects, because the other two movies you don't. The first two movies you don't get too much of that. The third one, this one you get a whole bunch more, being so what starts the Purge. You even get this little at the opening, a whole bunch of stuff talking about some of the problems in the world that led to them to try to make the Purge a thing. And the funny thing is that I actually kind of like about this, the whole concept of the Purge from this movie, is that the name, the Purge, didn't even come from the people that created the experiment. They just called it the Staten Island experiment, I think that's what they called it. But they decided to call it the Purge, and it is definitely one of the more interesting Purge movies that I actually surprisingly enjoyed a lot more. Do I think it's the best one? Definitely not. But because it does have its flaws, like I said, it's not as over the top and everything. And there is some parts where I'm like, there's a lot more of it's a lot more hand-to-hand on combat in this movie than there is in the other movies, which I don't complain about. I don't complain about. I like hand-to-hand combat in movies. It's just as well that's done well, and it feels like, hey, this is good, and the characters you get in this are pretty likable. I can't really tell you their names, but I remember a lot about these characters, and like the fact that you can tell like how torn people are between this supporting the purge and being against it, and you really feel like there's like this feels like these people are legit. There's people that support it, and they're like yeah, we need this to happen, or other people's like this is crazy. Why are we doing this? You get that good sense of feel with this movie, and I really do like that they executed that pretty well. 'Cause this could have came off but the thing is, these movies though do have that. People don't watch these movies for the politics. People don't watch that for that or anything. People watch these movies because they want to see people going hectic, killing people without consequence, going crazy. Which this movie does give you that, but this one does focus on a lot more of the political aspect in this world, and which might be a turn-off for some people. And usually stuff like that in movies is a turn-off for me. I don't like when movies try to get political or anything, even if it's like political in that world, like it's not from our world, but like in a fictional world. It's still sometimes I'm like, okay, I didn't come to this movie for that. I came to this movie to kind of ignore the real world and everything. But for some reason in this movie, it makes sense to me, and like it works. But there's also points where I'm like, okay, dial it back. I don't need to hear all this. Let's just get to killing people. But I feel like it's subtler than in some movies would do that kind of thing. It's a lot more subtle, which is really, it's just a really, it might be the weakest movie, I think, and I can't say I really liked the movie, but I have better respect for it than I did. There's some, like, The Purge, there's not as much creativity with this one, which I guess makes sense. I'm trying to defend the movie, but also I don't want to defend the movie as much as I'm trying to. But at the same time, there's a lot that this movie could have done better. And it's the fourth movie in the franchise, so you're not going to expect anything crazy or great about it. And personally, I had some issues with it. I'm not going to lie to you. I had some issues, and I don't really know how to pinpoint. It's just some parts just didn't sit well with me. The action scenes are not as the emotion, there is some decent emotion in the movie, but I don't feel the emotion as much as I did in some of the other movies. Like literally with the in the second movie where the grandpa goes off and sells himself to be purged, so his family can have money. That you feel the emotional weight, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that. That actually hurts to hear that happened. This, you don't really get that much. Like, there is emotional, but like these characters, there's only like there's some of them you don't really. There's this girl, and I don't really care about her that much. Like the more interesting is this guy that's part of the leader of a gang, and that's the guy that's interesting in the movie. And I wish we got a lot. We do get plenty of time with him, but I wish we got a tad bit more with him. The movie, though, I'd probably give it a solid 4 out of 5. No. What was I talking about? Solid 3 out of 5. I think is a good solid. We'll go 2.5 out of 5. So we're straight down the middle. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's all right. It's a decent film, and I recommend it if you haven't seen it. And I do enjoy these movies. I would say that I'm a pretty big Purge fan, and I actually do enjoy this movie much more now than I did when the first time I ever saw it, which is something that I can't say about some other movie franchises. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think of this movie. Tell me down in the comments. I'd love to know. Do you think this is a good movie? Do you think this is weaker than some of the other ones? But yeah, that's just. I'd love to know what you guys think of this movie and this. And just like, there's so much they could have done better. I would have liked to seen a movie more with the First Purge being the first nationwide purge. Maybe like a kind of an anthology. I'd love to see like an anthology purge film where it shows purging on different sides of the country. Like you see something like over here in Texas, maybe, and then over here you see something in Washington, or something over here in Kentucky or New York, and then you just jump around. Give us like an anthology style purge film. I would love to see that. That'd be a great way to take the franchise. But I'll talk more about the future of the franchise when I review the Forever Purge. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.